Now let's get some reaction from Behnam Taleblu, who's a research fellow at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, a pro-Israel lobby and think tank in Washington. Thanks for joining the program. Thanks for speaking to France 24.
Pleasure to be with you. Just a note, not a lobby group, nor do I work for one.
All right, Reuters is reporting that a US official says this should be the end of fire between Iran and Israel. Do you think so? And is this more actually a warning to Iran rather than a prediction?
Great to be with you. It's likely not. In fact, I think the seal has been broken in a way here during the October tit-for-tat with the Islamic Republic on October 1st and Israel now on October 25th or 26th, depending on the time zone one is in. It's a fundamentally different kind of kinetic attack by both sides, creating really a marked difference from that which we saw back in April from both sides. As you know, in April, the Israelis did not publicly claim their retaliatory strike against the Islamic Republic. In this case, they, in fact, did. The message you played by the Israeli military official, Mr. Hagari, in fact, owned the three different waves of Israeli strikes against Iranian military facilities, making it actually harder for Iranian hardline media to do what it's been doing all night, which is essentially to try to downplay the Israeli attack, to try to upplay the success of the Iranian quote-unquote layered air and missile defense, and to also be able to try to get America involved as a de-escalatory force. So if one had to guess, even though the Iranian retaliation may not come or may be delayed based on some of the narratives they're putting out there in their semi-official and in their official government reporting, it does not at all mean that this wider, more overt and more direct conflict between Iran and Israel will be going back to the shadows anytime soon.
Now, these appear to be strikes on military installations, as we've been saying, rather than oil or nuclear facilities, although there's still a lot which is not clear. Would you say that this is a proportional response to the attacks by Iran?
I'm not really a scholar of what is and isn't proportionality, but it certainly is a military operation. I'll put it to you that way. This is perhaps more than simply defanging or handicapping the regime's long-range strike capabilities by going after at least what is purported to be missile bases and military storage facilities that house long-range strike capabilities. Lest we forget, Iran is actually home to the largest ballistic missile arsenal in the Middle East. This was not something done overnight. There was an infrastructure put in place for this for many, many years to help procure, produce, proliferate, reverse engineer, and build various different classes of these systems like close range, short range, medium range, and allegedly working on intermediate and even longer range systems. So there is a significant expanse. I believe the Islamic Republic still has a significant long range strike capability left in its arsenal. So it is far away from a decapitation strike. It's far away from a regime change strike. It is a military response, in some ways much more narrowly geared to military targets, unlike the Islamic Republic's October 1st ballistic missile barrage.
You mentioned Iran's arsenal there. We've seen it put to use against Israel recently, but Israeli defenses have proved, for the most part, up to the task. So if Iran does want to escalate following this, can it?
It makes it significantly harder for the Islamic Republic, indeed, to be able to escalate directly, overtly, and conventionally. But nonetheless, that's the space the Islamic Republic has chosen to go in, both in April as well as in October, which, if you take a step back, is indeed a bit of an aberration or quite odd for this regime, which has for decades now mastered the art of covert warfare, proxy warfare, knowing full well that its adversaries, be it in the region, like Saudi Arabia or Israel or even much wider out America, certainly have conventional escalation dominance. But the fact that the Islamic Republic has really drunk the Kool-Aid on the capabilities of these long-range strike capabilities without thinking twice about the advanced layered air and missile defenses of Israel is now being borne out in real time, both as we saw with the Israeli response in April and perhaps more aptly the three different waves reported this evening.
Behnam Taleblu, thanks for your time. Thanks for speaking to us here on France 24.